Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 8, Cell, a fundamental unit of life. First of all, see here the chapter focus on organization of living being, structure of a cell and its parts, and components of cells in different organisms. One activity is given here, that is the role play. The role play means you have to personally do this activity by the help of different students. You can do it. That means all the students have to take part in the role play. At present, as we are at home, we are unable to do this activity, but I am going to explain it. You can do at your home also. Make a group of 5 and do the following. First is one student to hold up a picture frame of a person, of a human being, which can represent the skeleton of a person. Then second student to hold a calculator above the frame. Calculator, it is representing the brain of a person. So one can hold a calculator. Third student to hold a bicycle pump mid frame, which can represent the heart of a person. Then fourth, one student to hold a recorder near the top of the frame. This recorder will represent the vocal cords of a person, which is situated in the throat. So it is representing vocal cord which can produce a sound. And the last student to hold a glove at the side of the frame, glove which is representing someone's hand. So by these 5 students, what is represented here? It is a body, a skeleton, brain, heart, vocal cords, and hand. As these things represent different parts of the body, the next question would be what makes them different? All are the body parts of the human being. So, what is different there? All the parts of the body are made up of cells having different jobs. All of these parts they perform different function. For example, muscle cells, skin cells, bone cells, etc. And some of the cells are round, some are block shaped, while others are very long depending on their type. For example, muscle and nerve cells. Similarly, human skin is made up of different cells working together to protect our muscles, heart, and so on from damage. So all the body parts it perform different function, but basically it is made up of the same, that is the cell. Just like your school or your classroom, your body is also an active buzzing entity. Think of all that your body is doing at that moment. You are sitting and reading the book while your lungs are breathing, your digestive system is digesting the food inside your stomach, and respiration in every cell of the body is breaking the nutrients to provide you with the energy to carry on with all the functions successfully. While your brain is constantly sending signals to and fro your body. That means all the body parts are doing their function. Still, we are sitting or sleeping or running, any work we are doing at that time also, the functions in our body is going on. See here, do you know an amazing 100 trillion cells are developed in a human body by the time the average person reaches adulthood. That means when we grow up, the number of cells also increases, and when a person becomes adult, at that time the number of cells will be 100 trillion. Then, organization of living beings. So, what we have understood by this activity, that in spite of great variation in the size, shape, food habits, and habitats, all the living organisms have a basic similarity among them. They are made up of tiny units called cells. So, organization of living being means when we think of the human body or the body of any living organism, for that matter, you will realize that it works like a well oiled machine with all its organs working in perfect harmony with each other. And how do some of the common machines such as washing machine, any machine, we can compare the human being with a machine, because same as machine do the work, our body is also performing the work. Each machine consists of many parts and each part does a specific job, yet all the parts work together to perform an overall function. Different parts are there and each part perform a specific function, a particular function, but they work together, all the different parts doing different activities, but they perf- do their work together. Same as the human body, similarly it is organized at different levels. It starts with the cell and ends with the formation of the whole organism. That means the smallest part of the human body is cell, of the organism is cell. So, the following steps could be conceived in the making of the body of an organism, that is, the structural and functional unit of all living organism is called a cell, and it is formed of many smaller units, the molecules and atoms. But while we are saying that the smallest unit, the structural and functional unit of living being, then it is cell. Many cells join together to form tissue, and this perform the similar function, and this is known as tissue. Many cells join together and it forms a tissue. Then many tissues group together to form an organ performing a similar function. Then organ combine together and work together to perform one or more functions and constitutes an organ system. One after organ, in this figure you have to write organ system, which is not written here, and then all the organs in the body together work in tandem to form the organism. So all these organs combine together and then it form an organism. So till now the largest cell is egg of an ostrich. On average, they are 6 inches long and 5 inches wide. The cell theory At the same time that the invention of the telescope made the space accessible to human observation, the microscope opened up smaller worlds showing that living organisms were composed of. And the cell was first observed and named by Robert Hooke in 1665. So, first it was observed by Robert Hooke. Hooke observed the cross section of a cork. Cork is a smaller piece of wood which is used to close the mouth of bottle. This is observed under the microscope and noted that it looked strangely similar to cellula, that means small rooms which monks inhabited, and thus deriving the name. After that, in 1674, the first man to observe a living cell under a microscope was Anton von Leeuwenhoek. So, living cell was discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek, and the dead cell, first of all, it was studied by Robert Hooke. And after that, after the invention of living cell, the formulation of the cell theory was given by two scientists in the year 1838, and they are Theodor Swan and Matthias Sleden. While they were enjoying after dinner coffee and talking about their studies on cell, they were struck with the similarity of the characteristics of the cells in plants, studied by Sleden, and animal cells by Schwann. You have to learn all the scientist name with the spelling, correct spelling. Later, their observations were summarized in the cell theory, and this theory states that all living things are made up of one or more cells. A cell is the smallest basic unit of structure and organization in organism. And third is all cells arise from pre-existing cell through cell division. When the cell division occurs, then from the pre-existing cell, the new cells arise there. So this is about the cell and the cell theory.